Alright, so we got a very intriguing one here. So it's Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Miguel Baeza. So Miguel, he has a 2-inch height advantage and a 1.5-inch reach advantage. So a slightly bigger frame. And for Miguel, in the stand-up, he likes to fight a very technical fight. Like, he likes to keep it at kickboxing range, utilize a lot of kicks, low calf kicks, front kicks. His hands are pretty nice as well. Step in 1-2, the 1-2 at distance, 2-3 that he caught, what's his name? Matt Brown with. And that could absolutely be the kill shot here, because last time we saw Ponzinibbio, like he got caught with that 2-3 against the Leech. Just got to watch out for that. So yeah, Ponzinibbio, we know his style now. He's been in the UFC a while. He likes to feint, jab his opponent back, keep him on the back foot, keep you behind the 2 octagon lines preferably, and he likes to be in and out with his movement. But all in all, likes to keep that front foot and keep the opponent backing up. And he moves quite well laterally. Thought his movement looked pretty good in the Leech fight, honestly. I think it looked fine. But yeah, he likes to put that jab out. Very nice jab. I'd definitely say his jab is his best weapon. Nice pull too. He seems to have a little trouble finding the range with the right hand. Like, he doesn't commit to the right hand very often, but you know, when he does, he can overextend on it a little bit. But I'd definitely say, yeah, his jab's his best weapon for sure. And when he's got the opponent near the fence, he will look to tee off with 1-2s, 3-2s, like he did against Neil Magny. And Baeza, he keeps that lead hand low. Like, he gets his rear hand up, but it's just kind of an open palm thing. Like, it doesn't really give you much protection. I guess it looks cool, and that's why people do it, but I think a few of those MMA master guys do it. Colby Covington does it. He does the exact same thing. Lead hand low, open palm for his rear hand defense. Like, it looks cool, but I don't know if it gives you much protection, honestly. But yeah, it is what it is. Also, he'll back up onto the fence. Like, it's pretty easy to push Baeza back, just because he's always looking to back up to give himself space for the kicks. But yeah, it isn't hard to push him back onto the fence. And also, he stands very tall, so when he does get caught near the fence, you know, I could definitely see a same situation like how Ponzinibbio was catching Magny against the fence. I could definitely see that in this fight as well. And for Ponzinibbio, he just needs to be a little mindful as well, because he will lean back to avoid strikes with his chin in the air, his rear hand low. Like, your reflexes have to be on point if that's going to be your strike and defense. And we saw they weren't on point in the Leech fight. Like, your reflexes have to be on point if you're going to, you know, take up that style of strike and defense. And he also has nice low calf kicks as well. Same with Baeza. He likes to feint the low calf kick and then throw a 2 when he, you know, just to mix it up, really. But also, he does something that Miguel Baeza doesn't do, which is check the leg kicks. And Miguel Baeza, he seems to just eat them, and he seems to have trouble defending them at times, honestly. In the grappling department for these two. So both these guys, not huge wrestlers, but they will mix it up with the takedowns every now and then. For Baeza, he has a nice blast double. He'll usually look for it as the round's ending, just to kind of, you know, put a stamp on the round. And he will look to take the back if the opponent does turtle. You know, if he goes for a takedown or if he knocks the opponent down, he'll look to take the back and then flatten the opponent out, land ground and pound from there. But for Ponzinibbio, he is quite hard to hold down. Like, he doesn't have the best takedown defense, but I can't remember anyone really holding him and just controlling him on the mat. Have these guys win fights? So for Ponzinibbio, he has good cardio. He has killer instinct when he does hurt the opponent. And I think he has good strike and defense in range. Like, he has nice slips, nice pulls, but it didn't look as good in the Leech fight, I must admit. And that type of strike and defense it's more for younger guys who have the good reflexes. It's not for, you know, guys that are getting up there in age, like 35. It's, you know, your reflexes are they're gonna slow a little bit. So yeah, I think he needs to work just on pivoting his strike and defense a little bit. But for Miguel Baeza, he has considerable power. Ponzinibbio too, but yeah, both these guys have, you know, knockout power for sure. And Miguel Baeza, he has a really nice kicking game. How these guys lose fights? So Baeza, it's the striking tendencies that we discussed before. And for Ponzinibbio, it's the striking tendencies that we've already talked about. Also, he's had his bell rung a few times. And in all of his losses, he's been knocked down. And when he has been knocked down, he's lost all those fights. So he's never come back from, you know, being knocked down. Generally, when you knock him down, you finish him. Past a victory for these two. So for Baeza, look for the low calf kicks. Look for the front kick down the middle. Look to throw the counter 2 over his leg kicks, or look to check them. preferably check, but yeah, it is what it is. Look for those 1-2s, the 1-2-3s, the 2-3s. As we said before, that's what the leech caught him with, so try and catch him with that. He is good at pulling on the 2, so when you catch him on the retraction, when he is like coming back into, when he's pulling his head back to an upright position, then you can catch him with the left hook, and that's how the leech caught him. Also the blast double when he throws the right hand, just to mix it in. For Ponzinibbio, look to feint him onto the fence, get that jab to feel the range, and then watch out for the 2 as you do throw the jab, because he's going to look for that counter 2 when he's trapped against the fence, because that's basically all he looks for when he's close to the fence, is that counter 2, because he doesn't have too much space to throw his kick. So you can strip him down, you can strip his style down when you do get him near the fence. And look for combinations when he is stationary on the fence, just same as you did against Neil Magny. Also look for the low calf kicks. I mean, Baez's lead leg is basically straight, and he's had problems dealing with the low calf kicks before. Also look to check his low calf kicks so he doesn't throw them very often. So yeah, how I see the fight going. So yeah, Baeza. Sorry, I think I've said his name wrong a fair amount of times during this video, but yeah, sorry about that. He's good. He looks good in the UFC, fairly well-rounded, nice kicking game, comes back from adversity well. Like, a lot of questions have been asked of this guy, and he's answered mostly all of them. He's 3-0 in the UFC, he's got 3 finishes, so I think that's why the line is the way that it is, because if Ponzinibbio came back and starched Leech, the line wouldn't be close and this matchup wouldn't be happening, but he just didn't look great in the Leech fight, and I think everyone's just a little unsure of how Ponzinibbio is going to show up, since he's nearly 35 now. He's at 4 minutes of cage time in the last 2.5 years. I'm not really sure where he's at in his career. I didn't like how he took that shot from Leech, so, it was a clean shot, but just the way he reacted to it, like it was the first shot of the fight, I think it's the first clean shot Leech landed, and he basically went limp on the feet. So did he just get caught cold, or is it the start of like a steep descent in the later years of one's career? Not really sure, but I'll give him this. The Leech is a very hard guy to read on the feet. I think he looked okay in the Leech fight, honestly. Just a little slow to shake off the ring rust, maybe. He's always been a bit of a slow starter, getting reads and whatnot. I mean, both these guys start slow. So I think there'll be an extended feeling out process, which I believe will benefit Ponzinibbio. If Ponzinibbio is still all there, and that performance against Leech was a one-off, or he just got caught, then I believe he has the type of style to give Baeza a lot of trouble, honestly, like that orthodox versus orthodox dynamic. So Baez's kicking game is quite limited to basically the front kick and the low calf kick. However, Ponzinibbio, he's very good at checking low calf kicks, so I feel like he's going to be checking a few. Maybe Baeza stops throwing them. Stops throwing them. But yeah, lately it's the front kick, and it's not that effective against the guys. Just going to keep moving laterally and not really giving you the same angle every single time. But I can just see Pons on the front foot having success with the jab, catching Baeza, throwing some low calf kicks of his own, catching Baeza when he's close to the fence. But yeah, it's a really tough fight to call. I'm not confident because I don't know where Pons is at, but if I had to pick, I'd pick Pons, but I'm not comfortable with it though. Alright, let's have a look at the betting lines anyway. Alright, so yeah, I think the fight's basically a 50-50, but that's just due to the fact that I don't know where Ponzinibbio's at, really. Like, it's a good matchup for him, but I don't really know where he's at. So the pick is Ponzinibbio. I think he just wins by decision. I think he fights a pretty tentative fight and just kind of outpoints Baeza, but fights a smart fight. And yeah, there's not really any bets that I love. I mean, if I was desperate for action, then I'd probably just bet Ponzinibbio when he was like $2.20, but maybe Ponzinibbio by KO. What's Ponzinibbio by decision? $4. I don't mind that either. I don't mind it, but yeah, not really loving any bets on this fight, honestly. I just really want to see where both these guys are at, so I hope the fight does draw out a little bit, so that'd be good for further, tape and analysis. But yeah, just want to see where both these guys are at, honestly.